You see the NASDAQ and the S&P are down. You see crude oil is down. You see the dollar is down. You see gold and silver is down. You know, I told you they were going to crash things simultaneously. I don't know how many videos I got to make showing that. They're crashing the dollar with the stock market and oil. Okay, it's all crashing. Gold and silver crashing together with it. They're not going to stop. All right, they're trying to prove a point to you guys. I try to explain that to you. You see this wick right here, this candle on the 6th where the Dow is down 1,000 points. All right, let me try to explain that to you the best way I can. Okay, we call these by different names. Traders do. Okay, everything I do is proprietary, so I use my own names. All right. I have my own system, my own strategies, my own technical indicators, my own everything. Standard technical analysis and technical indicators will not work for the majority of people out there. Stochastic oscillators and MACD and all that stuff doesn't work. It only works for people who know what to do with the indicators and how to tweak the indicators to their system. All these is basically shell indicators, shell mathematical equations, okay? They do have some bearing in them, but if you don't know how they work and why they work, you won't be able to use them, okay? I'm just trying to explain that to you. That's why they come with just about every charting package out there. They come with these basic indicators with basic settings and all that. But if you don't understand the science behind it and the rules on how to use it, it's not going to make you any money, man. I'm just telling you what I know. In the brokerage business, we had a rule that 95% of all self-directed accounts would fail within 2 months. What that means is, regardless of what amount of money you open with, you would be at zero within 60 days of trading live. Okay? We knew that. That was a fact. Okay? Anyway, I don't want to go off on a tangent. Let's go back to this wick. This wick here, this is like a pointer or a cursor, all right? What that means is when you see these wicks right here, these blow-off wicks, these wicks were normally customary dating back to March of 2000. For those of you who were trading back then, this is sort of like a, going back 101 for you. Remember when Alan Greenspan was the head of the Federal Reserve? Remember when he was playing with interest rates, lowering interest rates in between meetings without warning, and the Dow would move 600 points in 2 seconds, and the NASDAQ would move 400 points in 2 seconds, and the S&P would move 110 points in 2 seconds. I'm not being facetious, I'm being literal. The Dow would move 600 points in 2 seconds, okay? That's what they would do. They would make these announcements right in the middle of the trading day. They wouldn't wait till 4 o'clock or after 4 o'clock or before the market opened. They would do it and make these decisions right in the middle of the market, okay, to shock and awe everybody. And people would just be blown away. They'd be decimated. Their accounts would be just tore up, okay? And they did not bust the trades back then. And we're talking Globex. We're talking the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. We're talking about the E-mini S&P 500 futures contract and the mini Dow and the mini NASDAQ, okay? Now, actually, there was no mini Dow at that point. It was just the Dow futures regular contract. But anyway, these wicks, what they would do on Fed days, whenever they would announce, whether it was announced or unannounced, these wicks always indicated as pointers or stop signs to where the market was going to be headed, okay? So because this kind of, you can call it blow off, whatever you want to call it, this is a pointer. It's saying that the market is going to, this is where the market is headed. It's coming here eventually. If it doesn't come right away, if it waits a week, 2 weeks, 6 months, doesn't matter. It's coming here. This is where it's going to come. It's going to end up there, okay? This is the trend line here, the long-term trend line, moving average. As you can see, we didn't really close below it, even though we had lows below it. But today, we're threatening to close below it. A close below that today sets us up for this test here. But this is not the ultimate on where the market is going. All right? I'm going to explain this more in Pandora's little black box. But I'll end the video with this. 666. Some people call it the devil's number, the mark of the beast, whatever you want to call it. Well, that 666, when the market turned back in '09, March of '09, guess what? That's where the S&P is going. That was the inside signal to let everyone know that the Federal Reserve was now totally and fully in command of the U.S. banks and U.S. markets. Okay? And they would turn it and make it go wherever they wanted it to go. Well, anyway, I'm just letting you know that's where we're going to ultimately end up. We're going to go back to those parts and we're going to break below it. And when that happens, that means the end game is done. That means that they set us up. Sometime around that time, I don't know if it's going to be before or after, but you can expect major false flags and major events to take place leading up to and beyond that point. Some of these false flags will be, of course, the economic collapse, the failure of the dollar, failure to pay back bonds and things like that, and just total default, all types of things. And we expect also a false flag such as a nuclear detonation in a major U.S. city. Right now it's looking like it's going to be Washington, D.C. or New York City. And it's probably going to be a big one. Just want to let you know that. If they get desperate enough, they will detonate in those two cities. If not, they're going to do something like a swine flu type of a super virus, thing like that. Only thing is, they want to use something that's more controllable and containable, not too messy, but enough to cause public outcry so that they can attack Iran. Because that's what the Federal Reserve wants. They want to attack Iran. And people don't think that it can happen. They didn't think they could fly planes into buildings either, but they did it. People think, oh, no nuclear blast will take place. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. So I end it with that. Get ready. Pandora's little black box coming up next.